Give me 1 second, guys. I'm just doing some math here. Math. So you asked for it and you got it. Compound interest. What is compound interest? So I believe before you first understand what compound interest is, you need to know what simple interest is. So simple interest, let's say for instance, if you had $10,000, and I hope you do have $10,000, and I hope I have $10,000 somewhere in my bank accounts. But that's neither here nor there. This is the point. Simple interest. Let's take, for instance, you had $10,000 at 8%. Maybe it's a savings account. Maybe it's an investment account. Maybe it's a loan. Maybe it's some sort of deposit. That's how these interests are calculated, either through a deposit of some sort, which can be in many forms, or a loan that could actually work against you in some particular circumstances. But nonetheless, $10,000 at 8% compounded annually is $800. Okay, at 8% is $800. So that means that every year that you have $10,000, you're going to get $800. And it's off your initial principal. That means the initial amount of money that you had in your account of that 8%. It doesn't compound. Rather, your $10,000 at 8% compounded, the first year is going to be the same amount. If it was simple, it would be $800. But that next annual amount, you'll receive $864. You get what I'm saying? So that means that if it was simple interest, $10,000 at 8%, at the end of that 1 year that you have the money in the account, it will be $800. The next year, it'll be another $800. So that means in 2 years, you got $1,600. First year of compounding interest is the same as simple interest, $800. But the second year compounding annually is $864. No one really understands how compounding interest is compounded interest on interest. And I believe that the Italians came up with this quite some time ago. But even Einstein, and I said this before, he don't even understand the math behind compounding interest now. He probably was not even. So that is the power of compounded interest. So we're talking about annually. But you will see a lot of investment accounts that may do it quarterly or semi-annually. But the best ones that I've known that compound either monthly or daily. Now, there's very few accounts that do it daily, but most accounts nowadays compound monthly. We're talking about savings accounts. We're talking about very few checkings accounts because you want to do high yield savings. Unless you part of that big baller where you have a lot of money in your checking and you like, oh, I have 100,000 plus. Some of them may compound monthly as well. But this is the reason why so many investors have hundreds of thousands of dollars and sometimes millions of dollars because of compounding interest. And then they have multiple streams of income all being compounded. See, your money works for you when you have it in an account that compounds. That's the reason for this channel. My money makes money because I keep my money either in an investment account or a savings account that compounds my money. And I also invest with Fundrise, which is a REIT, a real estate investment trust. And now I really haven't made that much money this year because I did the $500 starter plan, but I have more money than I did before my initial investment. My initial investment was $500. I have slightly over $500 now. Okay, I have slightly over $500. But let's dig a little deeper into compounding interest. So what if I told you, and I'm looking down here in my notes, that compound interest is calculated by multiplying the initial principal amount by 1 plus the annual interest rate raised to the number of compound periods minus 1. The total initial amount of the loan is then subtracted from the resulting value. Yeah, what does that mean? That's the question, right? So let me read it again in the way I would read it to myself. Here we go. Compounding interest is calculated by multiplying the initial amount by 1 plus the annual interest rate, the rate that you will be getting, right? That you will be saving or investing at. Then it's raised to the number of compounding periods. The number of compounding periods, meaning annually, quarterly, monthly, or daily, then minus 1. So that's how I would read that. But do you really care about the math behind it? There's a few things I believe that you should really understand about compound interest. Make sure where you have your money, that account is compounding. That is compounding interest and not simple interest. That's number one. Number two, understand if your account is being compounded annually, semi-annually, quarterly, daily, or monthly. Now, the top two that you really want to hone into is daily and monthly, because the more it compounds, ding ding, you got it, the more money you receive, right? So if you held $10,000 in there and you was like, hey, this is compounded annually as the amount that I gave you, and after the first year, it's like simple interest at $800 at 8%, then the next year you'll receive $864. Now, instead of me breaking it down like I usually do, I want you to do a little bit of homework. What if that was done monthly? You might have to do a little bit of multiplication, which is fine, but you will come up with a number that is astronomically high. Now, here's the thing. You may not come up with a number that's so high. So what if your $10,000 at 8% was compounded monthly, which is my favorite. I love compounding monthly. It's just hard to find an account that really compounds daily. But so let's say your current principal, let's say we have $10,000. The annual addition is going to be 0. And just for your reference, guys, I love Money Chimp's compounding interest calculator. That's Money Chimp compounding interest calculator. I'm not affiliated. I'm not associated. Boom. So you know I'm not getting paid by these guys. Years to grow. Let's say 5 years to grow. Interest rate, we said 8%, and then compounding interest is at times annually. We're gonna say 12 because it's gonna compound monthly. So I got $10,000 for 5 years at 8% that compounds monthly, 12, right, which equals a year. Calculate $14,898.46. Listen to what I'm telling you. Now, when it compounded annually, off that second year, you only receive $864. So let's do that. Let's do this. Let's do the second year. Let's do 2. Okay. Let's do 2 years, 8%, $10,000, 12 months. Calculate $11,728.88. That's 2 years of your $10,000 being compounded every month. So instead of making this video drawn out, you get the point. When you're looking at your money, whether it be a high yield savings account, an investment account, a REIT account, the things you want to look out for is that it's compounding interest. Is it compounding interest monthly, daily, annual, or semi-annual? That way you can compute the amount. And also, you should compute how long you want to keep your money in there. This is Ross World. Learn money and be inspired. And just think about it. Compounding interest. We talking about more money, more money, more money. You know us from China. I'm out.